The body image that we see today in society was not always present. Although the ideal body image has shared similar characteristics, it has never remained constant throughout the decades, even centuries. Going back to the Italian Renaissance, which was a period of rebirth, we could contrast what they considered the ideal body image to our societies. Based on paintings, it is evident that the ideal body image was much heavier than ours. Women that were full-figured and pale were considered to be the most attractive, since pale skin demonstrated that you were wealthy and did not have to work outdoors, while being thin was a symbol of being poor. On the complete opposite side of the spectrum, women during the Victorian era strived for tiny waists. They began to go through extreme measures to achieve this image. Corsets were worn beneath dresses to obtain a small waist. Women could not breathe well nor sit down, and some even experienced severe health issues with broken ribs. During the 1920s, women did not want to show off their curves like they do today. They wore flapper dresses that would give them the straight look, hiding their bodies. Some women would even wrap cloth around their chest to give them an even more androgynous appearance. During the years between the 1930s and 1950s, women wanted to look like movie stars. Unlike the 1920s, they now wanted to show off their curves like Marilyn Monroe did because of their obsession with Hollywood. Women began to really focus on their bodies and show off their long legs and fit arms. Women in the 1960s wanted to be stick thin because they wanted to look similar to the admired models of that time. This model movement inspired women to be as skinny as they could be, no longer celebrating the curves like they did in the 1930s to 1950s. Skinny was now the trend. In the 1980s, aerobics became a big thing and women wore tight workout clothing that emphasized their bodies. They became obsessed with their figure and strived for that toned look without gaining too much muscle. The spandex which they squeezed into became the style in the 80s. The 1990s became known as the heroin chic. Yet again, models like Kate Moss were influencing women and young girls to strive for the skinny look. Through extreme drug use and starvation, women would achieve this frail image. After decades of women attempting to look thin, they finally began to embrace curves again. In the past 10 years, we have seen curvier ladies on our magazine covers and our television screens. However, body image issues are still very real and present in today's society. We are surrounded and exposed by the media, such as advertising in our malls, which force an ideal image onto young women. What are your thoughts on how the media portrays young women?
Media is pretty tough on women. What's considered mainstream is very hard, and it's not idealistic for the regular person, so they want everyone to be super skinny or thin or this and that, and that's what's considered sexy in the modern world, which is not entirely true.
It's horrible because they expect too much from them. They expect them to achieve this perfect body that brings insecurities.
It's not realistic.
Told me the question, I had obviously two clashing sides. Okay, one is sexualizing the women, using their bodies as tools to show like what they should be, and then this other one is the powerful one, where it shows the girls are climbing up the ranks. They can be whatever they want. You don't really see, let's say, like a regular person walking on the street. A girl can be powerful too, but she's just not grabbing those people's attention because she doesn't have that look.
They're all pressured to look a certain way.
Social media has changed a bit to where it's kind of socially acceptable for a girl to kind of look the way they want now. Skinny girls, heavy girls, anybody's kind of accepted now. So I think it's changing in a more positive way. There's still a lot of stigma between how a girl looks.
The media uses women as sex tools and sex objects when, they all have a mind and, their own freedom of speech.
I think that women are too hard on themselves.
Describe your body in one word.
Work in progress.
Average.
Imperfect.
Flawed.
Complex.
Needs improvement. Different.
I definitely have an ideal body image. I like to be taller. I want to have like a thigh gap, like super, just like model thighs.
I want it to be a little bit shorter and my waist to like not exist.
I've always wanted to be thicker and a little bit taller.
A little bit taller, thinner thighs, bigger chest.
Taller and have a slimmer face, and I've always wanted to be more toned.
If you could change one thing about your appearance, what would it be?
It would be my teeth.
My waist.
My hands.
My nose. Probably my smile, because I've always felt like one side is more shifted than the other.
What are your thoughts on how the media portrays young women?
I feel like they're being portrayed as the more mature than what they have to be. Girls my age, I guess, look a lot older and act more mature than their actual age, and I guess it's more of a desire to kind of grow up and experience all these things when they might not be ready for it.
Media really just creates one category for young women in which none of us really belong in. If you're dressed too provocatively, you're labeled a slut. If you're dressed too conservatively, you're labeled a prude. So you can't really win.
I feel like for decades the media has been portraying women as an object, right? And I feel like that's really affected women in so many ways, and nowadays, ever since Photoshop came through, they've been just altering women's body and making this unrealistic image of women, and I feel like young girls my age, younger than me and older than me, feel like they have to live up to a standard, a false standard.
Does the media have any effect on how you portray yourself?
Yes, they set certain standards that can't always be achievable.
Yes, because I feel like those people, like, they're so flawless, and like when I look at them, it's like, wow, I need to reach how they look.
I think the media affects us all more than we'd like to admit.
Have you ever felt body shame?
I think everybody has experienced body shaming at one point in time or another in their lives, but I've definitely experienced it a lot when I was younger.
I've body shamed myself.
Been called stick many times.
Do you ever compare yourself to female images in media? If so, who?
I've always admired Selena Gomez because her figure is really natural looking and she's thick.
Yes, especially towards biracial females. Kind of always wanting to have those stereotypical features that come with being a black female or biracial.
I don't really compare myself to like a particular person, but like just people overall. I feel like all of them have like that hourglass figure.
The Kardashian family.
Jennifer Aniston, Kylie Jenner. I think like her lips and all of that is just kind of like the ideal standard of beauty at the moment.
Do you ever feel pressured by the men in society?
Yes, because I feel like I can't wear what I want to because I'd get either catcalled or verbally abused.
Yeah, like, you know, you see a hot guy and you're checking him out and then you kind of want him to check you out too, and when he doesn't, you're like, do I not look good enough?
Sometimes I do, just because I guess I would want validation that I am desirable and that I am wanted.
What are your thoughts on cosmetics? Does the application of makeup make you feel better about yourself?
I feel like cosmetics is a great way for women to boost their self-esteem, especially for people who feel insecure about themselves.
The little makeup that I can do, like put mascara on or plop some eyeshadow on my eyelids, I feel like it does make me feel more confident and better looking, I guess.
I mean, when I don't wear it, I'm not like insecure when I go out to places, but like when I do wear it, it makes me feel better and more pretty.
It doesn't destroy my view of natural beauty, as I like to use it to enhance my features instead of hiding my flaws.
I know girls who are trying to fit into the social norm like squeezing in a last year's prom dress. I know girls who are low-rise, MAC eyeshadow and binge drinking. I know girls that wonder if they're disaster and sexy enough to fit in. I know girls who are fleeing bombs from the mosques of their skin, playing Russian roulette with death. It's never easy to accept that our bodies are fallible and flawed. When do we draw the line? When the knife hits the skin, isn't it the same thing as purging because we're so obsessed with death? Some women just have more guts than others. The funny thing is women like us don't shoot. We swallow pills, still wanting to be beautiful at the morgue, still proceeding well be buried with our shoes and handbags and scarves. Girls, we flirt with death every time we etch a new tally mark into our skin. I know how to split my wrists to reveal a battlefield too, but the time has come for us to reclaim our bodies. Our bodies deserve more than to be war-torn and collateral, offering this as a pathetic means to say, I only know how to exist when I am wanted. Girls like us are hardly ever wanted, you know. I know I am because I said I am. I know I am because I said I am. I know I am because I said I am.
Very honest,
Lovable, strong,
My body is whole.
Focused, courageous,
a good person.
My body